Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is always very much appreciated. And in this video we are going to take a look at the retro carded Amazing Spider-Man Bombastic Bag-Man figure. Now this one's a cool one. I mean, it's quite a niche figure, but for any Spider-Man collectors out there, this is an absolute must-have. He looks really cool. He's on that retro card back, so if you're an inbox collector, he fits him right with your collection. And if you're an out-of-box collector like me, he's quite fun to pose and all that kind of stuff. So let's jump in and have a look. What does he come with? He comes with 2 additional wall crawling hands, as we've called those, and he also comes with a little kick me sign that goes on his back with this peg here. And you'll understand why he has the kick me sign if you're familiar with his character from the comic books. So for anyone that doesn't know who Bombastic Bag-Man is, essentially it's Peter Parker, it's Spider-Man. So after the symbiote storyline, he goes to the Fantastic Four and they help him remove the symbiote in the comic books, and that obviously leaves him without a suit, so he somehow needs to get home. It leaves him without a suit because obviously he had the symbiote black suit. Just before I carry on, having a quick look at the head sculpt. The sculpting on this head sculpt is really nice considering it's a bag. I'm just going to move the light because I just want to show you, if you actually look through the eye holes, there's a fully sculpted head underneath there as well. So there's a lot of detail in essentially a not a very detailed figure. But anyway, as I was saying, Pete Parker is left without a suit because the symbiote's been removed, and Mr. Fantastic is kind of keeping it for tests and stuff. And what they do is the Fantastic Four give Peter Parker one of their costumes, and he hasn't got any shoes, obviously, and they give him a bag to put over his head. And I think it was the Human Torch that kind of nicknamed him the Bombastic Bag-Man and stuck a kick me sign on his back. And he kind of makes his way out and he heads back. And I think, if I remember rightly, what happens is it's a really minor thing, like somebody robbing somebody or something like that, and he intervenes as he would as Spider-Man, and that's how he gets the name Bombastic Bag-Man. But it's a bit of a fun little nod to quite an old storyline actually now. This costume has shown up in numerous games as an unlockable costume because it's a bit of an iconic one. So to actually finally have it in action figure form with Marvel Legends is really cool. I'm really pleased to actually be able to add him to my Spider-Man collection because, as some of you know, I've got quite a large Spider-Man costume collection, so I'm always pleased to add a different one into that. Another thing that's really cool is that they're reusing the Walgreens Fantastic Four body. So long before we got the retro cards and the modern costumes, we had the Walgreens exclusive Fantastic Four set that you could only get at Walgreens, and they became quite hard to get. So it's nice to see that they're reusing this costume. However, there is one slight difference. As you can see here, here's Reed Richards, and the blue on the Bombastic Bag-Man is slightly lighter than the blue on the Walgreens Fantastic Four, which I must admit, as an initial observation, was a little bit of a disappointment because I was hoping he would just blend in and I could display him with the Fantastic Four Walgreens setup or with the Spider-Man costumes. But he does stand out as having quite a significantly lighter costume, even though the design of the costume is very much the same. Now, have a bit of an artistic license, you can kind of get around this, saying something along the lines of his costume is fresh out of the cupboard or the closet, or his costume is an older version or something. But it's just a shame that they revisited this costume and changed the colour of the blue. It was just a real disappointment. But not enough to really kind of make too many big complaints, because as you can see, Bombastic Bag-Man does look awesome. I was going to say looks fantastic, but that's a bit of a pun. So he does look awesome with this Walgreens Fantastic Four setup. Now, since the release of some of the other Fantastic Four characters, these versions haven't been as hard to get. Some people have got rid of these in favour of like the retro ones, so they are available. You can get hold of them, but they did come out quite a few years ago now. I think it was 2017, 2018, and they're just them iconic blue suits. I suppose with Bombastic Bag-Man, what you could do is you could buy 2 additional ones and make quite an easy Reed Richards and Johnny Storm. That's definitely a potential for anyone that hasn't got these Walgreens versions. The thing isn't a huge problem because the things all pretty much look the same. You could get the modern one or the retro one, and maybe just a bit of paint on his shorts, and Human Torch in torch form again. So that would work, but it would be the Sue Richards, which would be a bit of a difficult one to get around. But either way, he's probably definitely worth picking up a couple of if you're a fan of the Fantastic Four, just to have those blue suits again. For me, I'm really pleased to add him. He's going to go on my Spider-Man shelf, but I did want to see what he looked like with the rest of the Fantastic Four here. But yeah, I'm going to add him to my Spider-Man shelf. So yeah, he's a standalone figure, definitely worth picking up if you know the character. Yeah, just a lot of fun. Nothing really new about the mould. It's a reuse of one of the old moulds with all the standard points of articulation. But yeah, there we go. Bombastic Bag-Man, aka Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker. Thanks very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. And I'll see you soon.